Good morning and welcome to Hardin Life Live. We are the Hardins and we are a family and now a group of counselors and coaches who are committed to bringing you a fresh perspective, both biblical and therapeutic, on how to live your best life. So we are excited. It is 2022 officially. We are back and ready to go. We took a short break for the month of December and used that time to reflect and reset for ourselves, and we are excited about what we have to bring in 2022.
Still holding on a little bit to Christmas,
Just
sort
a
of,
touch.
just inching out. But we are loving taking topical perspectives each month. And what better month than January to sort of say, where are we headed? Where do we want to go? And I know for me, I have been thinking a lot about building, architecture. Believe it or not, I'm always sort of into that. And one thing that I have just always thought about is that when you have a vision for a house, you could create the most beautiful thing in your mind of what you think it's going to be, how it's going to work. But until you get a blueprint, you cannot aim at that destination. And hun, that is why I absolutely loved how you kicked us off this month with how to set goals. Yeah. If it doesn't get tangible, we can't realize it. So take us there.
Yeah. Well, I certainly believe that unless you have it on paper, then you don't have a plan. If you tell me that you're headed in a direction and you don't have a map, if you have plans to build a house or to go someplace, and you don't have it on paper, then you don't really have a plan. If you want to go into a bank and start a business and get a loan and get money, and you don't have it on paper as a business plan, then they just laugh at you. So it's really critical, I believe, that as we look to this coming year, that if we are not deliberate and intentional enough to put on paper where we want to go and how we plan to get there, then we don't have a plan.
So believe that. Okay. Well, the catch is most of us get overwhelmed. Yeah. Because it's like, oh my gosh, I need to get my health in shape. I got to get my finances in shape. And oh, let's talk about all the people I don't like and how am I going to get through my relationships? You know? So it's like, where do we start?
Well, I know from growing up in this family, we start with a chart. We start with a chart. And I actually, now that I think about it, before we even started with the chart, it was, asking ourselves the questions, what do we want? And you do a great job in that, really helping us to reflect by some really key resources that you can download on our blog, and it's also on our resource page on our website. But when I think about my goal setting, especially in my early years, I set goals more to please other people, and I set goals to get either recognition or to get love. And one thing that I loved about your blog that you took us back to is we're not setting goals to get appreciation from others or to gain recognition or to feel good about ourselves. We're setting goals so that our whole selves honor God. We are here on this earth to glorify God. Therefore, we set goals to become more like Him, to honor Him with our bodies, to be a good steward of our bodies, of our finances. And I think that gets lost, especially with kind of the secular lens of just these resolutions. I'm going to resolve to not do this. When as Christians, we can refocus and put Christ at the center.
Well, I truly believe that when we are operating as our best self, as our true self, then we bring the most glory to God, the most joy to God's own heart, because He wants us to be fully alive in who He designed and created us to be. And so, as we begin to acknowledge the parts of us that we've created to gain acceptance, to please another, and we shed that in such a way that we are able to identify who we really are, then we're headed in a direction that brings glory to God and the most joy to our own lives. And so I have written in previous blogs, and we've talked about it, about self-awareness. And so certainly everything we're talking about here implies that you are growing in self-awareness. But as you are getting a clearer picture of who you are, I want to suggest 4 areas to begin to set goals in.
Let's hear them. Let's hear them.
First of all, just personally, as Jesus is described as growing in wisdom and in stature, and with God and with man in Luke 2:52, we want to grow emotionally, which is the wisdom idea of Jesus. Wisdom comes from an experiential understanding of the knowledge of an experience in life. So when we're emotionally connected to that experience, we learn and we gain wisdom. And then we want to be growing physically, taking care of ourselves physically. I've got new goals that I'm seeking to address and execute as we begin the new year physically. And then, of course, in my intimacy with God and in my relationships, both with my family and outside my family. So number 1, I would say beginning to just set personal goals. And we have a goal sheet on our website that you can click on, and it'll walk you through those areas as well as several others. 3 other areas, just quickly. 1 is in your marriage. We have a marriage weekend goal sheet that'll walk you through a marriage weekend. We suggest that you get away, ideally every 90 days.
Well, I think that was back in the day. I would say every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Not that if you could pull away every 90, that's amazing. But if you did 6 months, what you would find is that you set a goal and then you touch base in 6 months and say, was it achievable? Are we getting there? Or do we need to recalibrate them? And we honestly did that. Oh gosh, 20 something years that we faithfully did it. And now we sort of do it more seamlessly as a way of life.
Yep.
And then we pulled in the girls at a young age, beginning just in tiny little bite-sized goals. Goals don't need to be big in the sense of some dramatic. Make it doable. That's the number 1 piece I would throw in. It's got to be a doable goal.
Well, sweetheart, I think that you can attest to when we would finish our vacation in the summer, and we would be driving home, most often from Edisto Island that we loved in South Carolina. We were all in the car talking about the goals that we had addressed, and you and Abigail were like in 5th grade, 4th grade, 6th grade, all of that, and you had a goal sheet, and you had determined what you were going to be working on for the coming months.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time.
Right.
So certainly you both modeled that for our family and encouraged us and to set our own goals. And I think what that did, even if I did have the wrong motivation when I started, I was still growing and I was seeing the results of putting in hard work and seeing the prize.
Well, and then just in conclusion, the other 2 goals, as I said, the 4 resources that we want to point you to is the goal sheet in general, the couples weekend. Then thirdly is a life mission statement of just working that through. And that's on our website. And then finally, 100 questions that'll help you work through your life is a great resource. Just take 10 at a time and work them through, even through the year.
What's even fun about that? Get a group of friends together. Do a bigger thing. Influence one another. Well, we've got to go for this week, and we will definitely look forward to taking you through obstacles that hold us back from hitting these goals as we go through January. Don't forget our website, hardinlife.com. Check out the free download.